Iris. So excited tonight. Y'all know what Mondays are. Mondays are a time to come, reflect, and talk about how to get to your next with mindset to millions. I'm so excited. I have a wonderful guest that I'm going to introduce in a moment. I want to first of all thank all of my listeners and visitors, those who are on the app looking in, and those who are on the radio show. I want to tell you, thank you so much for coming back over and over again. Each week, we want to bring you some exciting topics and opportunities for you to be in the know. We are ready to educate, entertain, and let's just have a great time. But without further ado, I want to introduce someone near and dear to my heart, a sister friend of mine, Gloria, coming to the stage. Yes, yes, yes. Hey, Gloria, so good to
Hey,
have you on
it's so good to be
tonight.
here. It is so good to
Yes,
be here.
yes, Ladybug, Gloria Betts Caldwell. I want you to tell us. I got your whole bio. I'm gonna say a few things about you, then I'm gonna
Okay,
let you brag on yourself. But I
okay.
know this queen through some programs that we work in together, some coaching platforms that we mastermind and network together. But she is impactful and professional in a way that just blows my mind. I'll never forget the first day I met her. Her joy is contagious. She's authentic. She's a real boss, but so humble you would not even know it. But
Oh,
she's so many things, a motivational speaker. She influenced so many platforms across the board, from management, business management, coaching, even in the arts. I mean, she's an actress, soon to be a comedian, I believe. But just a seasoned business manager with the government, with a government agency, a global leader, strategic planning skills. I mean, you name it. I could go on and on and on. But tonight, she has this awesome coaching platform. And I want her to tell us in her own words a little bit about herself and her platform, the knockout mentality.
well, hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing on this evening? And it's a joy for me to be here with you. I love you so dearly from the first time that I met you. And even when I got a chance to encounter you again, it was even extra special. So I'm just so happy to be here, first of all. I am Gloria Betts Caldwell, a lover of people, an overcomer, and a dynamic example of resilience. Okay. Edified. So, knockout mentality is my platform. I came up with knockout mentality because of my love for boxing and being just active. In my training, or in the midst of some of my boxing training, I realized that it is mental as well as physical. So I said, that's interesting. I'm trying to create a platform and it's talking about resilience and bouncing back and overcoming obstacles and unleashing talents, knockout mentality. And actually, it was very interesting. It was Marcus Wright from LET and Dr. Marcia Whitaker that helped me formulate knockout mentality. And we
Mm.
talked about all of that and who I was and what I embodied. And that's where knockout mentality came into play.
Wow, I love it. I love it. And even as I think about all the things that you have done and what
Mhm.
you're currently doing, as it relates to the philosophy around attitude,
Yes,
intentionality,
yes,
focus, fear, and discipline. I
that's right.
mean, that just speaks volumes because those very things that you focus on are the
Mhm.
building blocks to help us get to
Absolutely.
our next. Wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. When I sat down and I talked to Marcia originally, when I did my very first speech, it was called Scaredy Cat, and it was talking about fear. I said, I really talk about foundational skills. Those have to be in place in order for you to be successful. And a lot of times we overlook those things as we move into adulthood, and we do away with the things that even school teachers told us: be quiet,
Mm.
open your ears and listen, and hush your mouth. It's those simple tools that we can utilize as adults to help us to be successful. And I'm like, let's reach back and grab them. So, yes.
Wow. Wow. So let me ask you this, Gloria.
Okay.
When you think about the knockout mentality,
Mhm.
who is this for? If you had to say, I
Mhm.
have an audience of people that
Mhm.
need this type of thought process, knockout
Mhm.
mentality. And before you tell us who it's for, what does it really, really mean?
To have a knockout mentality is to have emotional intelligence. In a
Mm,
nutshell, that's really what it is. The more and more I thought about it and I started doing workshops on emotional intelligence, I said, you know what? Having a knockout mentality is having emotional intelligence. It's
mm,
being able to control yourself. It's being able to control the things that you can control and let go of the things that you cannot control. Um, and it's all the foundational skills to get you there. And the reason why I say knockout mentality again, and that it is for everybody, is that when you are physically sound, when you are physically in shape, when you're feeling your best, you respond your best. We
mhm.
can get agitated when we're sick or when we're tired or when we're sick and tired. We can
Yeah.
get really agitated, and that does affect how we respond. So, knockout mentality is being physically set so that when you have to deal with the emotional things, because they are going to come,
Mm,
that you're equipped to deal with them. So,
mhm. I,
yes,
you
ma'am. And
know,
the audience is for any and everybody. And I
yes.
speak to students from middle
Mhm.
school on up to people that are in their 70s, 80s, 90s.
Mm.
It's
Wow.
applicable. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. I love this because I was talking with you earlier and just sharing
Mhm.
with you some of the life journeys that I'm walking through,
Yes,
and
yes.
moving forward while I'm trusting God, but having to manage my own emotional intelligence.
Yes,
What would you
yes.
say? And you gave me some great, just on the spot, you gave me some great, quick, fast advice to help me
Mhm.
think about the journey of walking through life and the
Yes.
grief process and things of that nature.
Mhm.
What would
Mhm.
you say to the person who may be listening in that
Mhm.
say, I hear you, Gloria, but you don't
Mhm.
understand life is really life, and I have so
Mhm.
many processes that I'm in. I don't
Mhm.
even know how to start in having a knockout mentality. Where do a
Mhm.
person start who feel just completely overwhelmed?
It's funny that you say that because I am in the toughest moments of my life at this moment. So I can speak from that space and I can speak from telling you it works. My number one thing, and I talk about my F3. My F3 is faith, focus, and fearlessness. Okay.
Mm,
I lean heavily on my faith.
mm,
If you don't have faith in something, whether it's yourself, mine is God. And trust me, I believe him. But if you don't have that faith there, you can hang it up. You're going to have faith in something, okay? Then you have to focus on whatever it is that you're dealing with. You have to look it in its face. A lot of
mm,
times we don't want to deal with ourselves. We don't want to take accountability for what our ad was to the position that we're in. And we don't want to
mm,
look at ourselves because we have to take accountability when we look at ourselves. So I think really to break things down, you could be going through several things as I am. As a whole, it just takes over my mind completely and I shut down. So I break those individual things down and I say, what can I can control out of this? What is out of my control out of this? Everything that is out of my control, I rely on my faith. And
mm,
I say, what are the things that God has brought me through thus far? If you don't believe in God, what has the universe brought you through thus far? I'm not going to lean to the universe because of my faith, and I will never deny that. What has God brought me through? Throughout my life, I can tell you the many things that I've been in that I thought at the time they are never going to end. This is overwhelming for me. I'm never going to make it out of, and I'm batting 1,000 on making it out of everything that I've gone through. So you have to think back over those things that you've accomplished, that you've overcome, from the smallest to the largest things. And you have to say, okay, this is where my faith is. I have belief that I can come out of this because I've come out of this thing and this thing and this thing. It could be I graduated from high school. It can be I actually went to college. It can be I never thought I was going to get a job. I got this job. There are many, many things that you've overcome that you overlook as you go through life. So go back, take that, break it down, the things that you can control. Let's get those and focus on those things and break those things down and say, what are the things out of that that I contributed to? Those are the only things that you can fix. If it's involving another person, you can't fix them. You got to push them over in the face section and pray for them.
Wow.
And pray that their hopes that they will something will be revealed to them. But you have to focus on the things that you can focus on and move forward fearlessly and understanding that you are going to come out. And then the cycle repeats all over. Lean on your faith, focus, be fearless. Lean on your faith, focus, be fearless. And that builds resilience. And then once you start to account for the many goals that you make throughout the course of that overcoming, you will start to feel more empowered. You're going to come out of it. You are going to come out of it. And the only person that's going to keep you from coming out of it is yourself. So make the decision to come out of it.
Make the decision to come out of it.
Absolutely.
I love that. I love that. And even thinking about, the words that I'm hearing you say, it's like you're speaking life, you're speaking faith, you depending on your faith, you're depending on your God, and I know a lot of times people have the tendency to speak what they see, what they feel, what they have experienced. How can you encourage people to overcome negative self-talk, which affects us to have limited beliefs?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Dr. Tammie, the answer is simple. However, it's hard, okay? Because you have to be intentional when you do that, Dr. Tammie. You have to make a conscious effort to self-improve. It's not going to happen by happenstance. You have to make an intentional decision. You have to say to yourself, I'm tired of myself and where I'm going. You have to identify the negative thoughts that you're saying to yourself and practice kindness with yourself. You have to have empathy and compassion for you. I mean, you can't express that. That's the first thing that you do with other people. You have empathy and compassion, but you don't do it with yourself. You have to get with some people that can say to you, what you're doing is not helpful. Did you hear what you just said to yourself? You just downed yourself, even for the smallest things. You said, I can't do that. You have to set some goals and challenge yourself. And, you have to use affirmations. It's so interesting. I met a young lady a long time ago, and she is the creator of Live Affirmed magazine. Very dear friend of mine. Her name is Erin. Dear, dear friend of mine. And I met her through her doing affirmations on Facebook. And she's a beautiful person outside, even more beautiful inside. But she caught my attention because she had curly hair like I had. And she would come on and she would do these affirmations. And I was just like, Lord, these affirmations, it's like the movie The Help. You was kind, you was smart, you was important. And, you watch the movie The Help, but it's like, okay, in all honesty, the help is really befitting because it's helping you. And as you're saying those things to yourself and they start sinking in, really, and you start believing in it, it does help you to self-improve. So the very first thing you can do for yourself is get you some Post-it notes and get your nice little mark in whichever color you fancy and write that down. Write down who you are. Write down who it is you want to be and say it over and over and over to yourself until you really start to believe it. And that's the part. You have to believe that you are smart, important, significant, special. You have to believe it. You can't just say it. You got to believe it. But those are some of the first things that you can do in order to start changing things about yourself and start believing in yourself.
And you know what I love about this is you believe what you are saying.
Absolutely.
You are not just the type of coach that coach people up, but you believe what you're
I
saying
do.
because you have lived out that very thing
That's right.
yourself. Tell
That's
us
right.
a challenging time for you possibly where you
Mm.
had to look deep within when it seemed like you got knocked out and was not going to get back up, and
Ooh.
you had to speak to Gloria. You had to have those affirmations, those I am statements. Share a tough season with us that you walked through, but your coaching, your own information helped you revive, be restored to get back up again from being
Ooh.
knocked out.
Ooh. You know, there's so many. There are really so many, and we spoke a little bit before, and you talk about the different trauma and drama you go throughout the course of your life. You know, I'm sitting here at 50 years old and I've gone through divorce. You know, I've gone through sexual trauma. I've gone through abuse. I've gone through many different things, many sicknesses. I've gone through, as I explained to you recently, being given the date rape drug and coming out of that. And I'm going to use that because that's the most current thing. I was on a trip and having a great time. Was at a place where you wouldn't have thought a thing like this would happen. And it wasn't the drug itself, although the drug itself did, it has impacted me. It's impacted my vision right now. It's impacted my memory right now, where I'm not able to speak honestly without script in front of me because I don't trust my memory right now. But it was the outbreak of that, and us not knowing. I was with a friend of mine, and us not knowing what had happened until the person approached us. And she kind of got an idea then, but by that time I was all over the place. I wasn't in my right mind. I was slurring in speech, and I ended up falling backwards down some stairs, which ended up fracturing my ribs. Like I said, I have a kidney and a liver, as I told you before, piercing that is going to take some healing. I was bruised up, cut up a lot. During that time, I could have said, I'm going to fold. I'm done. You
Mm,
know, I couldn't see 4 feet in front of me. My vision is still slightly impaired right now.
mhm,
Like I said, it jarred my memory. And I could have said, okay, you know what? This is a reason why maybe I'm not supposed to speak. Maybe I'm not supposed to be writing. Maybe I'm not supposed to be on this platform. But I said, no, no, no. Mm-mm.
mm.
Let me take the things out of that I can.
Come on.
I didn't give myself that drug.
Mm,
That was somebody that was weak in the mind that tried to come with a force that would stop me from my
mhm,
purpose. Okay.
mhm,
I wasn't in the wrong place. I was in the wrong place, or the right place at the right
mhm,
time, but I
mhm,
wasn't in the wrong place. I wasn't doing anything bad.
mhm,
I didn't ask for it. But then I have to think back on my 3S: faith. I had just asked God to enlarge my territory.
mhm,
He didn't say how he was going to do it,
mhm,
but it was a way that showed me what people experience when they go through that type of trauma. So
mhm.
then I sat that in and I said, okay,
Wow.
well, focus. Focus on what you need to do to come out of this. You're going to have to pick up your resilience. You're going to have to pick up your strength. You're going to have to pick up your commitment. You're going to
Mm,
have to be intentional about your healing. Done. Then I
mm,
said, fearlessness. Shake off being timid and afraid from what you've gone through, and you become
mhm.
fearless and resilient and cognizant of what's going on around you.
Yes.
And I said, huh, all right, God, I hear you. Now, here's the interesting part, and we talked about this a little bit before, and you mentioned it. I asked God to allow me to be authentic in
Mm,
anything that I do, whether it's an interview, whether it's a speech, whether it's general conversation in the Publix or Kroger, to be
mm,
authentic in what I said. He enlarged my territory by allowing me to speak to other people. So, with everything I go through, I try to find the silver lining in it. And you know, they say that to you when you're young, but I try to find the silver lining in it. And I
mhm,
realized there's a song, her name is Maurette Brown Clark, and she sings, It Ain't Over And I play that over and over in my head. It ain't over until God says it's
Says it's
over.
over.
It ain't over
Yes.
until God says it's done. So keep
Mm,
fighting until your victory is won. And
mm,
I play that almost every morning to myself because I realize in my life, until I don't wake up,
mm.
it ain't over. So you keep
Wow.
fighting for whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Fight for your peace. Fight for your
Mm-hmm.
health. Fight for your children. Fight for
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. Fight to meet your goals. It ain't
Mm-hmm.
over,
Mm,
and it's never too late.
mm,
So
mm,
that's
mm,
the most recent traumatic experience that could have taken me out of there, but God
mm,
said no. But then
mm.
I could have mentally taken myself out of
That's
there.
it.
Because
That's it.
oftentimes it's not the situation, it's your mindset. And
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Marcia, who is also my coach, there's a word
Yes.
that she uses that I love. And she said, you got to learn when to pivot.
Mm,
Life is going to hand you stuff. But baby, you got to pivot. There are forks in the road
mm-hmm.
for a reason. You can go this way or you can go that
Mm-hmm.
way. So why keep heading up this beaten path when you can pivot and go in this direction? Shift your mindset, shift the way that you're thinking about things, and
Mm,
look at the positivity in things. Look at the learning portions of what you're going through and
mm-hmm.
keep pressing on.
Keep pressing
And that's how I've been.
on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Yes,
just
ma'am.
being so open and so transparent. I think a lot of times when people see bosses like yourself and like myself, those of
Mhm.
us who are doing things and making impact, and we keep showing up on social
Yeah,
media
that's
in
right.
spite of what we're walking through,
That's
we
right.
keep
That's right.
sharing good information in spite of, but I believe it is our stories
Oh,
that
yes.
actually refine us in a way that we can impact others in a more significant way. And
That's right.
certainly tonight, I know you're impacting people on tonight.
My
We know
prayer.
people are listening in. They are blessed by what it is that you're saying. And
Yes, ma'am.
so thank you for not being afraid, because I think a lot of times we think everything's supposed to be happy go lucky and
That's
look
right.
a certain kind of way.
That's right.
But
That's right.
who's gonna go back and reach back and help that person
That's right.
who's going through what we've already been through?
That's
If we
right.
don't share our story,
That's
they
right.
won't know. Let
That's
me
right.
ask you this. Let me
Yes,
ask you
ma'am.
this. I believe in the power of visualization. I
Woo!
believe in the
Yes.
power of seeing ourselves and doing the things that we're believing that we're going to do
That's
and
right. Mhm.
attracting the right
Mhm.
people
That's right.
that we need attracted to us to
Mhm.
get to where it is that we're going. Because after all, the show is called Mindset to Millions. And
Yes,
one of
ma'am.
the things I know for sure, you can get to millions, but if your
Mhm.
mindset is jacked up, think about the
Woo!
people that lose lotteries. They win the lottery and they lose all the lottery money and they're in more
Mhm.
debt and then they file bankruptcy. So
Right.
we know that a knockout mentality is
Mhm.
important because having a healthy mindset affects everything. So when
That's
you
right.
think of visualization and goal
Okay.
setting, how do you say that those two things play a important role in developing your knockout mentality to get where it is you're trying to go?
That's a that's a good question. You talk about visualization. Um, and there's always that they talk about the vision boards,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that's really, really heavy. A good friend of mine, Dr. Rhonda Harris, who I brought to LET, she does a lot of vision boards.
Mm-hmm.
She gets hers framed up nicely, and I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
girl, mine is a post and some markers." But they people take that very seriously, and it's really true. When you can see the goal in front of you, you're aiming in the right direction. You're not shooting in the wind aimlessly. You're not allowing life to just happen to you. You're planning your life. You're
Mm-hmm.
you're you're writing your story. You're painting your picture, and
Sure.
it's all up to you. So
Yes.
there's so many different ways you can go with visualization and goal setting. Um, you can lead off with a failure to plan is a plan to fail. So
Mm-hmm.
you can lead off with that aspect. You have to have clarity on where it
Mm-hmm.
is you're going to accomplish your goals. You set them, you look at them, you build your pattern to get there, and you have clarity on them, and you keep moving in that direction. And that should give you motivation. It's just like anything that you get. If you have a target, if you say, I want to get that car, or I want to get that degree, or I want, you know what you have to do to get there. But you have to visualize it
Come on, that's
before.
it.
You have to visualize it. And it gives
Mm-hmm.
you, putting that thing in your face and setting those goals, it gives you confidence as you're accomplishing the steps to get there, and you can see them. You can cross them off. You can say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, hit that, applaud, celebrate,
Mm-hmm.
and keep moving on up the ladder. And it gives you positive reinforcement the whole way you're going through. And it does
Mm-hmm.
allow you to overcome challenges because you are developing, like you said, that
Mm-hmm.
positive mindset. So by
Yes.
allowing yourself to prepare, you are preparing for success
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Yes.
Yeah,
And you're seeing yourself winning. I know
absolutely.
you and I
Yes.
both have been on let stages
Yes.
and at
Yes.
Michigan State.
Yes.
And one of the things that I always do ahead of time before I get on any platform, I see myself ahead of time on the
Yes.
platform,
Yes.
speaking,
Yes.
sharing, engaging the crowd.
That's
One
right.
of the things
That's
Sean says, one of our other coaches, he always talk about, you got to entertain, all
right.
right? You
Yes.
got to engage, okay? And you got to educate.
Okay.
So I literally see
Yeah.
myself doing those three things
That's right.
way before, the March show starts
That's
or
right.
the
That's right.
October show or
That's
whatever the
right.
case is. So that is so good. And
Yes.
goal setting. I mean, you said it so adequately. I think the main thing is we gotta see ourselves winning if we're gonna win.
You do.
A mindset that is full of fear, doubt,
Yes.
unbelief,
Yes.
sadness based on
Yes.
where we've been, it's not
Right.
going to get us to where we're trying to go.
It won't
So
get you
you
out of
got
bed.
that's it. So I got to be with people like Gloria. I got to be with
That's right.
people like Dr. Marcia. I got to
That's right.
be with people like Rhonda. I got
That's
to
right.
be with Dr.
Dr.
Mohair.
Tammie.
Right. Absolutely.
Yes.
We have to do that because
Yes.
these are the people too that we can see God working in their
That's
lives.
right.
So
That's right.
surely if he will work in Gloria's life, he
That's
can
right.
work in my life. So
Come on.
thank you for
Come on.
sharing that.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
ma'am.
yeah. And you are
Yes.
preaching good tonight. You're saying so many wonderful things. And I have so many questions in my heart and just
Yes.
notes that I've taken that I wanted to ask you. So I'm going to jump around a little bit.
Okay.
Let me
Okay.
ask you this. Of course, I
Okay.
have questions. What is it that may be burning on your heart tonight?
Mm.
You've said so much, but you want to share with people as a knockout mentality coach.
Mhm.
I've seen you with this contagious joy. I remember when I met you, you was just so warm. You didn't even know me, but you
Oh,
embraced me like you've been knowing me forever.
yes.
You're very awarded yourself, and God has blessed me with many awards, but you didn't look at me side eye, or you didn't try to size me up or figure things out about my life before you embraced me. Share with us, I guess, what makes you like that, number one, and what is it that you want to say to the people? I know I got a lot of questions, but what do you want to say to people on tonight?
You know, you asked what makes me like that.
Yeah.
My father's mother. I'm built like her, um, in every way, from the long arms to the long, thin limbs, everything about her. She had a sixth grade education, but was one of the most intelligent women I've ever met in my life. And what she would always tell us, all of her grandchildren, is, baby, you know better than them, and they're no better than you. They
Ooh.
put their pants on just like you put your pants on. And
Ah.
she taught me to love
Mm.
everybody from every walk of life. And then there was my mother's mother, who had
Mm.
doctorate degrees. And she, did the prayer at the president's inauguration, and she built schools in Africa. So when you had gone out and done the tiny homes, it was a reminder of the things that my grandmother had gone out there and done. And, and she would put that thing in me to say, you empower yourself and you empower other people. And she was always giving
Wow.
back. So it was a combination of the two of those women
Mm.
who I adore. I had the luxury of having them in my life, blessed to have had them in my life. They are both gone, but I picked up so much from them as a child that I didn't know that I carried with me, their spirit. And when I say I'm a lover of people,
Yes.
I'm a lover of people to a fault. I will give you my last. So
Yeah.
what God has shown me in the midst of that is that I didn't give you everything to give away to everybody. You need to practice discernment because sometimes people aren't ready for what I gave you that you're capable of giving. And that, even from a monetary perspective, I would give people money and they would say they need it and I would give it to them, but they weren't utilizing it for their greater good. So God
Right.
was, there's something that you can give them. You can give them faith. You can give them hope. You can give them peace. You
Come
can give
on.
them purpose. There are things that I'm taking you through that you can give back to them freely. And you can give that to everybody. And then I'm going to tell you who you can give your things to monetarily. And then in some ways, you can't give them the money, baby. You got to teach them how to fish so they can
Woo.
continue to feed themselves. There are going to be some people that you're going to have to give them the fish. You have to give them the fish, but then some people you have to teach them. So in the midst of saying you're being teachers of men and showing men how to be fishermen, and you're being fishers of men by going out and calling people into faith and calling people into confidence and calling people back into who they are and whose they are. And when you're doing that, you're giving them the needs that they need to go and push out so that they can develop the things in them and they can push out, because God has given all of us a purpose and all of our purposes are different, and he's given us all a specialty and all of our specialties are different. And I remember standing on that stage saying scaredy cat, and they're saying, you know what, I need you to develop what God put in you, because that could be something that benefits me, my children, or my children's children. And I'm heavy on that. So I'm a lover of people. So that's what caused me to be the way that I am. I feed off of positive energy. So when I hug you and you give me that smile back, you don't know what that does for me. Because even as you said before, as motivators, as speakers and teachers, we go through too. We're human beings just like the rest. And I can teach resilience, strength, courage, discipline, faith, focus, fear. And I'm going to have some fear. My faith is going to waver. I'm going to be shook on my focus. I may fall off on my discipline, but you have to learn how to get yourself back on track. So I'm a believer in being transparent. I also said in my first speech, Scary Cat, which I didn't know would be something that I would be quoting again. But you can't look at social media because they're not on there showing you all of the downfalls and all of the negativities and
Come
when they
on.
filed bankruptcy and when they're going through divorce or when they've been raped or when they got laid off their jobs or when they're in a bad financial situation. They're showing you all of the great stuff. But we have to be transparent enough to say, you know what? I'm broken right now. And the faith that I'm telling you about, I'm going to need to gather it. But I'm going to give myself a second to feel. But I'm
That's
going to
it.
hop right back on that because I'm going to pull in on this discipline. And I'm disciplined enough to fall back in on my faith and focus and be fearless so I can go ahead and get things done and I need to get done. But I'm going to be transparent. I'm broken. And I'm going through because you're going to go through. And if you love people enough, you will be transparent enough to share. You'll be transparent enough to tell them how to come up out of the things they need to come up out of. Because I don't want to be
Wow.
around anybody that's not in a good space.
Mm.
I'm here to help put you in that good space. So that's
Wow.
that portion of it. Yes, ma'am. That portion of it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's really good. That's really good. I love you sharing about your grandmoms because my grandmother, Ella Jane, my mom's mom, she impacted my life greatly,
Woo.
and my prayer is that I can do a tenth of what she did for me
There you
because
go.
when I tell you, generational blessings. A lot of people talk about the generational curses, but they don't talk about the blessings.
They don't.
And so I feel you on that. I remember her
Yes.
telling me I was in the process in life and I was in a challenging time in my life as a kid. I was being
Mhm.
abused. And my grandmother didn't know it,
Yeah.
and she said to me, she said, "You're going to do something great in life one day." And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, how could I do something great in life one day when
Mhm.
I'm walking in this weird, ugly place? But
Right.
I
Right.
never forgot what she said. And so as I grew up and of course, gave my life to God and got in therapy and was able to deal with that
Mhm.
time and season in my life, I
Mhm.
never forgot what my grandmother told me, and
That's
it
right.
pushed me. It kept pushing me to my best, to my
Yes.
next, to my
That's right.
new. And even now, I still hear my grandmother's voice when
Yes.
I'm going through these
Yes.
hard seasons and times saying, "You're going to do something great in life
That's
one
right.
day." And
That's right.
so, and for me, it's been many things, whether it was Africa, whether it was the
Mhm.
foundation,
Mhm.
whatever it is that I'm doing, I hear that voice. And I know you hear your
Yes,
grandmom's
I do.
voices in your
I
head
do.
too.
Well, let me tell you this, Dr. Tammie, and I know you say you want to become, even if you can be a 10th. And I say the same thing about my
Mm.
grandmothers. If I can be a 10th of what they did, but the impact that you've had on many, many people, I can speak to the impact that you've had on me. And you
Mm.
didn't know what I was going through when I saw you very recently, and I needed that. And I
Mm.
put myself in that environment because I knew what it had to offer me. I was there to be supportive of someone,
Mm-hmm.
and I was there to get support. So your hug, your smile, your confidence, your baby girl, what you doing? What you doing? It's that. Those type
Mm-hmm.
of things keep you going. So you have exceeded, I'm sure, the 1/10 because you
Oh.
saved, and that's why I was drawn to you. You saved me during that time, and you didn't even
Wow.
realize that you were saving me during that
Mm.
time. So if it's a life that you wanted to save, you saved it during that time because I was in a weakened place.
Wow.
I still
Wow.
had my faith, my focus, my
Mm-hmm.
determination, my discipline, and my strength. But you've got to keep people around you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a support system of some type around you,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's your church, whether it's your friends, whether it's your
Mm-hmm.
coworkers, whether it's people that you hobby with, somebody
Mm-hmm.
around you that is going to continue to say, "Get up, girl," and up,
Yeah.
sis, up. Dr.
Yes, Dr.
Marcia, get up, girl.
Marcia.
Get up from
Yes.
down there. You have
Yes.
to have those people there. So you
That's
have had
good.
a big impact on
Mm.
me alone.
Wow.
I know you've impacted others because I see what you do daily, but you've definitely exceeded the 10.
Mm.
I can guarantee you that
Well,
one.
I tell you what, I appreciate your words and they mean so much. And,
Yes, ma'am.
we as women, what I love about the circle of women that we are a part of,
Yes.
I don't see competition.
Woo.
I don't see jealousy.
Nope.
I mean,
Mm-mm.
really, there's a
Mm-mm.
group of women that say, I can't do other women. It don't work for me.
Yep.
But when I think about, and I can name at least 10 women that we all know through our masterminds and our
Yes.
stages and,
Yes. Yes.
collaboration book efforts and things of
Yes.
that nature. It's like we're pushing each other in the back
That's right.
saying, go girl, get it
Go.
girl. And
Go. Go.
the thing that
Yes.
I love about you, I don't even know if I ever told you this, but the thing that blessed me about you, as the knockout, mentality coach is there's such a shine, and the shine that I see, this is the tricky part, and I want to say it very clearly because a woman out there needs to hear this.
Yes, ma'am.
When Gloria show up, Gloria is cute. Gloria is well put together. She look good, not just from the inside. Some people working from the inside out, but she's working from the inside out, but the outside matches the inside. But there's such a level of humility that comes along with that. I know that has to have something to do with this knockout
It
mentality.
does.
It
It does.
has to,
It
because
does.
you are a beautiful young lady. And
Thank
so
you. Thank
sometimes
you.
being beautiful, there's pressures from other women,
Yeah.
that may
Yeah.
not be positive. How
Yeah.
have you handled that? Because I know you have had to experience it.
Yes. You know what? I think there's something that we've all had to experience. I'm a human being. I like to be approachable. I don't like to be standoffish. I'm special because I'm his. They're
Mhm.
special because they're his. So oftentimes, I
Mhm.
find that women that say like they can't do women, they have a problem with forgiveness.
Ooh,
They
mm,
don't want to
that's
be
heavy.
it. They do. It's like this is another woman. You
Mm,
know what we go through as women.
right.
So you are not capable of forgiving them for places where they falter when they're going through having to be the nourisher, the
Mm,
birther, all of these different situations. We're called into submissiveness. We're called into many different things. You can't forgive them for who they are in the midst of becoming, but you
mm.
want to
In
be
the midst of
accepted
becoming.
wholeheartedly
Woo,
for
that's
who
good.
you are,
Mm,
despite the things that you've done and are doing.
doing.
Ma'am, stop. So that's why I'm a lover of people and especially women. When I
Mhm.
see a woman, girl, you look good. You are pretty. Come on, hair. Come on, outfit, because it does not take from who I am
Yes.
as knockout. And a
Yes.
knockout mentality will allow you to applaud others,
Mhm.
knowing that that applause takes nothing away from where
It's
you're going
good.
and the success track that you're on. I will applaud anybody
Come
at
on.
any point in time, and they can shoot me down, and I'm still gonna help lift you up. Because at some point, you're gonna turn around and say, you know what, I did her dirty, but she stayed consistent with who she
Mm,
was.
mm,
And I believe in that. That's my
mm,
character. That's who I am. I'm going to uplift you. I'm going to do it.
mhm,
It is the knockout mentality because it keeps me in a very peaceful
mhm,
place. I find that if I'm always trying to conjure up ways to get at somebody or knock
mm,
somebody down or be in competition with somebody, I'm losing track of where I'm going and what I'm doing. I can't look at what you're doing.
mm.
This is my focus: faith, focus, fearlessness, discipline. If I'm over here, I'm not even paying attention to what's going on right here. I'm losing steps. I ran
Mm.
track. If when you're running track, if you don't keep your eye on the prize
That's
and keep
it.
your head looking forward at the mark, you turn your head,
Mhm.
you're gonna lose some pieces of your second, turning and looking, seeing where the next person is. You
Yeah,
look at
yeah.
anybody that's running track, and when they look at their opponent, they're losing steps. I'm
Mm,
not losing
mhm.
track and trying to keep up with you. I'm
Come
not.
on.
God has a calling and a purpose on my life, and it has
Mm,
absolutely nothing to do with the calling and purpose on yours. Now, you may be a piece of how I'm supposed to get there, whether you're a
right.
lesson, whether you're an enhancer, whether you're here for a reason, a season, or a lifetime, and I applaud you for it. Thank you so much. But now I'm not here to compete with where you're going, because you could be going over there. You can be going over here. I don't know where you're going. I'm here to pour into you to help you get there, but I'm not here to
Yes.
compete with you. And I don't care what you have and what you don't have. I'm not here to compete with you. And I'm here to let you know, if I feel like you feel you're in competition with someone else, I'm going to pull you to the
Mhm.
side and say, baby, let me tell you what's great about you. Let me tell you what's
Yes. I
awesome
love
about
that. I love
you. You don't
that.
have to be in competition with nobody. It's
Mm.
you versus you. And
You.
you're defeating yourself
Boom.
right now with this
Mm.
competition mess. Because when you get in competition with people, they notice and
Yep.
they'll start knocking you out.
Mm-hmm.
That one network that could have gotten you
Mm-hmm.
somewhere further, you let them find out you're in competition with them. They might be like, won't be
Mm-hmm.
dropping your name,
That's it.
won't be
Mm.
sharing your platform.
Wow.
Well, so you're hindering yourself by being in
Mhm.
competition. You know,
Mm,
there's a
mm,
song
mm.
that says, "I'm a movement by myself, but we're a force when we're
What's when
together."
we're
And
together?
that speaks to the
Yes.
women of the world. We are such powerful breeds. We are birthers of
Mhm.
life. We're nurturers of life. God put something special in us. And for you to look
Mhm.
to a woman to your left or your right and snob her or be snooty about it or be in competition about it or want to one up her, shame on you.
Come on.
You holding yourself back, boo.
Mm, mm, mm,
So,
mm, mm, mm.
I take those people and you got to get out of my circle with all of that. And I tell
Yes,
my friends, we are not in competition with one another. I
that's
don't
right.
do competition. I don't do it. It's too taxing on my soul. I'm
Mhm.
here to love you. I'm here to
Mm,
support you. I'm here to uplift you. I'm here for us to roll together. Don't compete with
mhm.
me because I'm not competing with you.
I love it. I love it. And Yvette from DMV says a class act. Indeed, I agree. Yes, Gloria is a class act. Yes. I
Thank
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love
you.
it.
Oh my
You
gosh.
know, man, you this the things that you're sharing and the empowerment that you're given, you
Mhm.
know, it moves and it shakes something. It should shake something into all of our listeners on tonight to know that all the processes and journeys that you walked through, you're still standing, you're still
And going,
strong, you're
gonna
still
stand.
courageous. It's
Yes,
that
ma'am.
knockout
It's
mentality.
that
And
knockout
so
mentality.
I gotta say, I gotta ask you this because
Mhm.
you know we believe in therapy, we believe in
Yes,
coaching,
yes,
you know, we believe in diet, exercise,
yes,
and all that good stuff. Anything
yes.
that's gonna keep us whole and sane.
That's
But
right.
tell us, how does a knockout mentality coaching process platform differ from traditional coaching or therapy?
You know what? That's very interesting. You know, and people ask that all the time because there's so many wonderful coaches out here. I know several of them. If you step on LET's platform, you'll meet a plethora of
Hmm.
them. But everyone has their own niche.
Yeah.
So no one has my whole makeup. No one has the
Mhm.
makeup of who Gloria is. I remember Samantha Levy from LET
Yep.
when she came through with me and she said, "You got your own thumbprint." And, you know, it stuck out with me. And I said, "Man, I'm special. I
Hmm.
have my own thumbprint.
That's
I've gone
it.
through many of things. I was a military-born child that went through, you know, abuse in the sixth grade, and I went
Mhm.
through. I had a beautiful, beautiful upbringing. My parents have been married still now 53 years, and
Wow.
they've been married together since the eighth grade and married since they were 18. And I had a
Wow.
beautiful, beautiful childhood. But the puts and takes of my life are like none other. Nobody has my walk.
Mm,
Nobody has my thumbprint. So I speak from my experience. And in those points where those experiences collide with who
mm,
Gloria is as a personality, it resonates with a certain group of people. And you know, Dr. Tammie, you and I can have a script in front of us. And they can say, read this script. You read it one way, I read it another way. And
hmm.
it can resonate with a crowd in different ways. You're going to get
Yeah.
some people that I'm not going to get. I'm going to
Right.
get some people that you're not going to get. The
Hmm.
information is the same. The script has not changed, but it is the person that is delivering it. And I believe that God puts us here to speak into the
Mm.
lives of those who he chooses for you to speak into their lives. And when he says
Yes.
he allows them to come under, they fall underneath different tones and textures and attitudes and personalities. And I may be high strung and flamboyant, and somebody can give the same structured conversation where they're military and they're, you know, and then someone else can give a laid back, quiet voice like Dr. Sharon, where it's
Yes.
kind of, it's a soft
Yes.
spoken type of confidence. And we're all given the same story. And in the same crowd, we're not speaking to the same people. So I
Mm,
am here to speak to those that God has ordained me to speak to. I'm
mm,
here to the people that God has purposed me to pour into. And if I don't get your attention, God bless you. And I still love you. And if at some
mm,
point I got to pick you up and hug you, I'm going to do it. But I'm here to
mhm.
serve in the capacity that he's put me here to serve. And I don't know who those people are. I have a dear friend of mine, and he told me, he lives here in my city, love him to death. And he said, you know what, Gloria? He said, I know what my purpose is in life. And I was struggling at the time and didn't know what mine was. This was before knockout mentality. This was before I stepped on the stage to speak. And I said, well, what is that? He said, God told me I was supposed to speak into the life of one person. And I said, wow, how do you feel about that?
Wow.
He said, heavy, because he never told me who the person was. And I said, whoo. He said, so I have to treat everybody with kindness. I have to pour into everybody because I don't know who that person is.
Wow, that's
And
powerful.
I'm determined to live out my purpose. So for me, I'm here to do that with everybody because I don't know who I'm purposed to speak into. I don't know at what point it collides and it meets up with their need. And it could be the same person that I've spoken to on a platform and they gain nothing from me. And on another day, it could hit at the
That's
right
it.
time.
That's it.
So I'm going to be faithful to whoever. So what makes me different is I have a no quit attitude and I'm the only Gloria Betts Caldwell knockout mentality walking the face of this earth. That's what makes me different.
Oh my goodness, you said it so well. I love this. And people are in the chat hearting you up. Yes,
Oh,
yes, yes. Chanda hearting you up. Dr. Marcia's on. She
hey,
says two powerhouses. Yes, 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 yes. So people are loving what it is that you are
thank
saying.
you.
And
Thank
that
you so much.
knockout mentality comes in such a way of peace and truth and love and power. And it almost reminds me, I'm in North Carolina, I'm in the Bible Belt. So I know you've
Yes.
heard this before. It's like a Baptist preacher. It's like a this person that just comes and certain and I'm sure and I
That's
know
right.
what I know and I'm
Yes.
saying what I say and I'm going
That's
to
right.
stand by it. And
That's right.
so I love the fact that you even acknowledged earlier that you've gotten a lot from your grandmoms, from
Yes, ma'am.
your mom and your
Yes.
dad mom. What are you passing down to your children? You talk about the knockout mentality,
Yes.
and I know you love your
Yes.
babies. I
I
see
do.
them on your platform.
I
I
do.
see you encouraging them, whether it's dance games, whatever the case is. What is it from a knockout mentality standpoint? What inheritance are you leaving? What's the legacy that you want to impart into yours?
Now, here's the transparency on that. I was riding in the car the other day, and my son was having an emotional moment. And I said, now this is interesting. He is struggling with something that I'm out here teaching.
I
And it
understand.
hit me to my core. But like I said, it lined up at that very moment. And I said, mm-mm. There are things that I've always done with my children. I believe in faith. I believe in them setting little goals for themselves. We say positive affirmations every morning, and I say, "Come up with three more. Come up with three more. Let's grow it." And my daughter, she stole mine, and she stole mine, he stole mine, and I'm laughing. I'm laughing at it. But I said, you know what? I use, and this is how serious I am. I use everything I teach and preach on my platform with my children. I talk to them about faith. I talk to them about staying focused. I talk to them about their discipline, even as much as making up your bed every moment sets a precedence for your day.
Come
We're
on.
going to be disciplined enough to do that because when you make your bed up, it makes you feel like you've accomplished your first goal
Yeah.
of the day.
Mm-hmm.
And when you don't accomplish that goal, you're going to be a little bit offset. I talk to them about journaling. We read every morning the Daily Bread and the Sarah Young has many different Jesus
Yes.
lists We read those every morning together. I talk to them about mindfulness and breathing. I talk to them about surrounding themselves with good people. I talk to them about their physical health and ensuring that stop eating that mess. Your physical health pours into your mental side of things. So I try to coach my babies, and I don't play about people's lives. I really don't play about my babies' lives. And then I also tell them with that, pour into your friends, pour into your peers when you're out here. And I got some feedback, and it warmed my heart and made me tear up. My daughter spent the night with one of her friends the other day, and the mother came back and said, "You know what? Giovanna can stay over here anytime she wants to." And I said, "Girl, what did Gia do?" And she said, "Out of all of my baby's friends," she said, "Giovanna has never talked about anybody else. She's constantly pouring powerful words into her."
Wow.
She says her mama listens to motivational stuff all day long.
Oh,
She was
oh.
regurgitating some of that. And I was just like, whoo, well, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Because if we do it all and we leave out our children,
Come on.
we've lost it all.
Mm.
We have lost it all. I teach them about emotional intelligence, and I have friends that teach that and that are certified in that. I went to school for that, and I'm even smart enough to say I don't know everything. And
Right.
sometimes when you're dealing with your own, you're emotionally invested in it. Maybe it's the point where this gets foggy. What's going on in your head? And I had to call her and talk to her and say, "Look, this is what's going on," and I had to be coached through it. And I don't mind that. I'm not foolish enough to say that I know everything and I can't be coached through certain scenarios and certain things when it comes to the importance of who people are and their self-worth and how, everything that they're doing to build themselves up. And what I pour into my babies is to be worthy of what God has placed in your life for you to do, to be worthy of every success that comes your way. Don't live with these limited beliefs. Don't believe because someone out here told you you can't accomplish it, that you can't accomplish it. No, ma'am. We're knocking all them glass ceilings up out of here. We're not going to.
Yes.
I said, I need you to do what my father and mother and my grandmothers empowered us to do. They set their foundation. My dad came through it. He set his foundation, and he was like, I need y'all to do better than I'm doing. And I'm going to set
Yes, that's
you up to
right.
do better. So for my children, what I'm trying to do is set them up to even be better than what I'm going to do and what I'm going to be in this lifetime. And I'm pulling out all stops that I can to do that. So
That is
yes.
amazing. That is amazing. And even to our guests out there, I want you all to hear this. Monica said Gloria is bold and beautiful. Yes, she
Thank you,
is.
Monica.
Yes, she is. Dr. Marcia says, wow, wow, wow. Not knowing who I am, purpose to speak to. Drop the mic on that. Because what it does, if we are speaking, not
Yes,
even realizing who it is that
yes,
we are to speak to, we're speaking to so many, and
that's
so
right.
many are being impacted.
That's
But
right.
then to hear you talk about your legacy, to hear you
Yes,
talk about your babies, to hear
yes.
you talk about how you are empowering them. And, we only have a few more minutes, but I did want to say this. I love the fact that we go through life just like everybody else do, just because we're speaking on stages, writing books, coaching folks, running companies, CEOs and chairwomen, all these things that we do. Sometimes we're going to be the first partakers of what it is that we preach. We're going to
That's right.
be tested
That's
to see how we're going to handle it.
right.
So, lady, your transparency tonight has been on point. It has been amazing. Your
Thank you.
empowerment. I understand why you call yourself and why you are the knockout mentality coach, because in just this hour, I mean, you've been boom, 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 boom. You've been giving us
We
uppercuts.
gotta take it down, baby. We gotta move and shake.
Girl, I'm trying to tell you, and I have enjoyed every moment of it.
Thank
In
you.
our last few moments,
Yes, ma'am.
Anything going on with you that we should know about? If people want to reach out to you, how
Yes.
do they find you? If they want a session to
Yes.
see if they can work with you, talk to us a
Mhm.
little bit. How do they make that happen?
Well, you can catch me on Instagram, the Knockout Mentality. Also on Facebook, it's the Knockout Mentality. My website is coming up. It will be knockoutmentality.com, and it should be up. Hopefully, it'll be up next week. They had to do some tweaking to that. I created that on my own. Again, go out and get yourself some help if you need some help. Stop trying to do it on your own. But I'm Gloria Betts on Facebook. I'm constantly dropping stuff on Facebook all day long. You can reach out to me there. Of course, email is the same. It's gbc at knockoutmentality.com or the knockoutmentality at gmail.com. So any of those ways, get in touch with me, and I'll be more than happy to talk to you about what you need to knock out in your life. I have a catchphrase. It's lace up, let's go. You know, it came from my boxing shoes. I have tall boxing shoes, and when I'm lacing them up throughout the course of my day, because y'all know I will wear them with a dress, a suit, or anything that I've got on, I'm thinking about my life and the goals and things I'm going to accomplish. So by the time I get to the top, I'm saying to myself, lace up, let's go. We're about to go win. We're about to go knock out these goals. So the thing that I have to say to everybody is get in touch with me, lace up, let's go. Let's go out here and conquer life. You have it in you. You can do it. God loves you. And so do I.
Yes,
He's
you
giving you
heard
a
it
gift.
from her.
Open it.
You heard it. You
Yes.
heard it. He's giving you a gift.
Open it.
Open it.
Open it.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. We have heard from Gloria Betts on tonight, and I am overjoyed. I'm excited. I am encouraged. I am motivated. I call it mindset to millions. In order to get to where it is you're going, you got to have a different mindset. You got to have a shift. You got to have a knockout mentality. And I want to thank all of those who join in. Yvette says, great conversation, beautiful ladies. Thank you. Be blessed.
Thank you,
Stay
Yvette.
safe. Good night. Amen. Just people
Amen.
joined in and jumped in. We thank you for your time on tonight. And I thank
Thank you,
Gloria
Dr. Tammie.
again for coming on this platform. I am honored beyond measure to know someone like her, to be able to teach us how to have a knockout mentality. You all reach out to her. Tell them one last time how to reach you again, sweetheart.
The Knockout Mentality on Instagram, The Knockout Mentality on Facebook. So reach out to me anytime. And I want to take a moment to say, Dr. Tammie, I love you wholeheartedly. I love you, love you, lovely. I got to put my arms around you soon. And thank you so much for opening up your platform and allowing me to come and speak. I
What an
appreciate it.
honor. What an honor. God bless. Good night to all. And we'll see you next week, next Monday, same time, platform. Come ready. I'll see you at the top. God bless and have a great night. Bye now.
Bye.